content you provided?
On the 2 videos?
Yeah.
I think we're maybe at 9,000 views between the 2 of them in total, maybe coming up to 10. I need to check again. Yeah, and it worked really well. I mean, we kind of rushed to get the 2 of them out before the kind of restrictions and stuff were lifted, so the interest would kind of be there and it would be something different. But I think we kind of posted them too close together, where we're seeing that the first one got a lot more interest than the second one. So that's something we've kind of noted for the future to space them a bit more. But yeah, no, that got really like a lot of shares and a lot of like views and stuff. So it was cool. It was nice.
No, it's good to see that, like, and to actually to get a sort of a metric of your work, because when you see the numbers popping up like that, that's brilliant. That's really that's impressive. Deirdre, have you had any joy, say, on LinkedIn or that so far?
I still have to set up everything because I mainly do the juniors.
Oh, okay.
And we have another SMO for the adults, and I need to talk with him what to do and how we're going to do it. And because we also with the thing, like as you said, we have another how do you call it, like for the adults, it's a lot of people that come from Ireland to Holland who play the sports.
Okay.
And 9 out of 10 times their kids play with us, but we only have, I think now we had a first training last Saturday, and we had a good 10 kids, but we want more. We want to grow. So I think we're going to try to get more local kids, just really Dutch kids to come in training. But then is the thing you have to think about, are you going to do it in Dutch or English, everything?
But I mean, then again, most Dutch kids will already have a decent level of English, wouldn't they?
Not if teenagers would, but not the real young ones, like 6, 7, 8 years old. They would understand it, but they wouldn't speak it. Okay. But on the other hand, well, I'm actually Dutch and my mom is Irish, so 9 of the 10 times I'm there at the trainings. So there would always be someone speaking Dutch and English.
Okay. All right. No, it's a good balance. Okay, guys. I think who else is in? Is it
Des is here.
Des from Stockholm is in?
Oslo.
Oh, Oslo. Stockholm. Sorry, Oslo. Sorry, that's a really bad. That's like.
Mute myself. Sorry. Oh no, it's grad.
Sorry, Des.
I actually was great. I was in the calendar because I signed in as the secretary for the Nordics, but then I'm actually using the Oslo account. So it's,
I sent you both, knowing that you were covering both.
I was trying to went to the secretary trying to say, oh no, shit, I can't get in, so I was giving it.
No worries. Look, I tell you what, we'll start now, right? We'll run through it. The presentation tonight will be relatively short. The person I'd hoped to get in, we had to start a half hour earlier than last week. Simple reason is we have a management committee meeting at 10 o'clock my time, 9 your time. And it's also Victory Day here in Moscow. It's held over from the 9th of May. So they celebrate today. So they had all the praise today and all that shebang.
Saw the news. It's good. It's very big.
Oh, yeah. And I live right on the main road. So like basically all was closed off. And then tonight I had to go out and do reports. Then soon we finish MT. I'm actually sitting on the MT calling already. The fireworks are 11 o'clock. So the person I wanted to get in will be on with us next week because she's actually working tonight on TV. We actually completely forgot. We forgot completely that today was a holiday, so she's working on TV. So, right, so we'll get cracking. And today, what I'm going to do is something that we've all been talking about in different ways, how to put a public social media post, what to use, hashtags, tags, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go through it rather briefly, breaking down bits, and then also giving advice on how to make the perfect post. Okay, post by post, as in what's good for Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so forth. So I'll bring up now my screen share. I'm going to get my social media. That's one. I will browse. Just give me 1 second while I bring it up. Upload my computer. Okay. So basically, the main idea of this will be we'll go through what we need to how to really make our post look good. I'll also show you a couple of mistakes in posts. One that was badly controlled and badly thought out, and one that basically was funny but was picked up on by people who wanted to make it unfunny. Okay, so we used to be be careful. Again, everything that you do with your social media, with your events, with your PR, you control it, you own it. There will be other people in the club who will kind of jump at the bit a wee bit and say, "Oh no, we should be, put input in." No, because ultimately it's going to fall on your head. So just keep going your own way, and you'll be grand. Okay, so see, let me know that they're all still alive. So the game of hashtag. Okay, this is something that a lot of people get mixed up. What's a hashtag and what's a tag? Okay, all of you here know what it is, so I don't even need to explain it. Tag is when you tag a person, a business, a sports organization, a company into a post. Hashtag is the hashtag whatever. Okay, so we're going to run through it. So again, people get mixed up in it. You guys have it, but just so it'll refresh our memory. And then we're going to see how we play with them. Okay, so introduction on this. Okay, a good hashtag, it makes a huge difference. It really, really does. Tagging the right people or organization also gets people looking at you. And location. Now, we all hear location when it comes to moving houses and so on. It's very, very important. When you get the three of them right, okay, in social media, your club will stand out. And even you, as a person, will stand out as well. People say, oh, that's quite good or clever. The tools we use, so tagging people or companies or organizations, hashtags, and location. They're the three vital things for every single post on most social media. LinkedIn would be the one exception where you don't need to put in a location, okay? But the rest of them, you would. Even with YouTube, okay? And I have a little boo-boo on this, but I explain it later. So the thing here is control the quality of content, all right? And you have to see the next slide. Now, the next slide, I'll give you a bit of a preface. We had a meeting of Russian Premier League clubs. This consultant came in and was discussing how to improve brand, social media, awareness, corporate social responsibility, and so on. With Lokomotiv Moscow, we had one thing working between the commercial and the PR media department. And we had one thing that we were working on with our betting partner, and we did that well. And the Spartak Moscow decided they were going to do a different way. They were getting pushed. They had the first, Leonid Traktenberg, he was the first PR manager in Russian sport, in Soviet sport. He was this old guy who just was very good at handling press, quite brutal, had his favorites, but he knew what he was at. Top guy at the time. He was listening to younger people who were desperate to try and be relevant within his department, and they said, look at so-and-so was the guest editor for Cosmopolitan or Forbes, or they gave control of their social media, their Twitter, to this child for a day. Giving it your control of your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram to a child is relatively safe, in all fairness. Giving it to a professional footballer is basically, when I heard that they were going to do this, Spartak have a reputation of being an out-of-control clown car. You're just waiting for the next big explosion. They're desperate. Great club, crazy fans, insane owner, but just disaster. So they decided we're going to give it to one of our players, our captain. He's going to make a video and he's going to hashtag it, and he's been taught, and they did training for the players of what to do. This is what it ended up as. Now, if any of you speak Russian, you'll understand this. If not, I'll translate for you, okay? So it's Смотрите, как шоколадки тают на солнце. What it says is, look how the chocolates melt in the sun. He's taking a video of their Brazilian, Cape Verdean, and Nigerian players. So smiley face, sun, chocolate. Jikia here, hashtag Jikia is Georgia Jikia, the captain. Dubai. Zbor is training camp. Spartak, OAE is United Arab Emirates. Krasnobieli is red, white, that's their color, and Spartak. This, if you look up anywhere, just go into Google, you'll see it popping up everywhere. Daily Mail ran with it, CNN ran with it. I was on Talk Sport, I was on BBC Radio 5 Live discussing, that the guy came out immediately. The players themselves thought it was a joke. They had no problem with it whatsoever. They were like, no, we're all friends. This is a joke that we joke with him. This guy is an ethnic minority himself. He's Georgian. This is dressing room humor that should not have been put out on social media. Simple as that. So again, be careful, control it, and don't let anybody get your phone, okay? Don't give anybody else your phone or access to accounts, because this stuff happens, okay? It takes a long time to build up a good brand, a good image. It just takes one stupid tweet to destroy it. Okay, Donald Trump is a difference. He just keeps tweeting and he gains followers. But again, that's just watching like a car going down a hill with no brakes. So tags get likes and shares. Okay, should be likes, not like. Question to ask yourself: how many of your members are on social media? Okay, it's your job to find out and keep them in the loop, because, say, for example, Facebook is great as a channel of information. And you can rotate people into your posts. If they're training, if they're standing around, tag them, okay? Do you tag your venue and sponsors into your posts? Do you tag the GGE, LGFA, Camogie, official Camogie and Leinster into your posts as well? If you're wearing O'Neill's, do you tag them? Do you tag your local journals or media? Okay, so again, if you tag people in, for example, a journalist, you want to put something out. Sinead, you were talking about the tournament, the mini blitz this weekend. You tag in, I don't know what the local Zurich newspaper is, or find it the local Zurich journalist. Tag them in. Okay, send them an invite to come down to have a look at it. Tag them into this. All you need then is people to look, like, retweet, because if they like it, it's going to show up in other people's feeds that it's been liked, especially on Twitter. So immediately you're growing. People then will look, who's this? What's going on here? And they start to look at your post, okay? It's cheap and easy, it's quick, and if you're clever with it, you can grow, okay? So that's one thing, using the tag, the little @ button. Next, hashtag, okay? Hashtag can either kill or grow your media. There's no two ways about it. Social media is very sensitive to hashtags. I just explained here at the very, very top, which you guys already know. Hashtags, they categorize social media content, okay? They make it into lists to make it simple, okay? So we can find out. So if it's hashtag Russia, you put in hashtag Russia, you'll see all the posts that are relevant to this. Hashtag Zurich, the same. Hashtag Oslo, the same, okay? You want to be within there. One little bit of advice that I learned through colleagues of mine when they were working with tennis players: don't go in blind. Know what you're doing. Look for hashtags that suit your content. Sometimes little unique hashtags. It could be sort of like, I don't know, hashtag Pilsner, or I'm just saying something silly. Pick something that is trending at that time, but not irrelevant. So do something like that, but be careful. But also check in each of the social media, there is a search option. In Facebook, hashtags don't really work that well. Kind of the same as LinkedIn, like they're limited. So just be careful with that. As I mentioned before, I think Neva brought it up on the first day, club, city, town, country, county, association. So I gave an example of Slovak Shamrocks. So Slovak Shamrocks, Bratislava, Slovakia, GGE, GAA. Okay. do the same on Facebook, or just hashtag your club and some GGE, or your club and Zurich, or your club and Galicia, whatever it is. Just be careful and play with it. How many hashtags per post? I'm going to give a little disclaimer on this as well, or a little warning. For LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, they say 1 to 2 hashtags. That's enough. Don't put any more in, because people will think it's spam, or you're kind of just scattergunning. Okay, so 1 to 2 hashtags are enough. In your profiles, don't put in hashtags. A lot of people put hashtags, even well-known people put hashtags into their Twitter profile. Don't. Okay, just leave it out. YouTube and Instagram, 10 plus. Now, later on, like in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how hashtags in Instagram work. It seems to be the more the merrier. It doesn't make sense, but there is a disclaimer on this. If you have a lot of hashtags on Instagram, for example, if you're using 20 hashtags, you will possibly end up getting what is called shadow banned. Shadow banned basically means that you will appear in their algorithm, you'll appear less often or less frequently, or they will ban you. The same apparently is done with Twitter and Facebook, but I can't say for certain. I only know for a fact that that's what they do on Instagram. So be careful. So again, hashtags per post: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, 1 or 2, YouTube and Instagram, 10 plus. Okay, we'll look at that a little bit. And the most important thing is that they should be memorable, unique, and relevant. Okay, if you like to have a drink of a Saturday evening, reverse that: relevant, unique, memorable. Have some rum. Okay. So just keep it like that, so people will remember that it's unique to you and it's relevant. And remember, if enough people, if 50, 60 people use your hashtag or retweet your hashtag, you'll trend. Okay, so 50 to 60 in an hour will trend. It's not going to happen all the time, but if it happens often enough, that's okay. It'll build up your rating and your visibility. Okay, location. You have to own your place. Location, I've learned through my own mistakes that this is very important. We all think, like my settings are turned on. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you don't have your settings on, so you need to be careful where you're doing. So have a check on Twitter, on Facebook. Check your location. One thing on Twitter or Facebook as well is used badly is the emotion, how you're feeling. The advice that I've been given, and we'll get it more next Wednesday: don't touch it. Leave the feeling thing. It's a little bit unprofessional in a way, and it's kind of people don't really like it. People see it and they're immediately kind of turned off by it. Location, when you have it on, it can pay off in many ways. It'll put viewers to your content, because again, people on Instagram, for example, if you have it as, I don't know, let's just say Madrid, and Madrid or some place in Madrid, if there's enough of them, it'll come up as a story and it'll come up as its own hashtag. You don't need to do anything. People will look at it and go, oh, hold on, and then go to see what you're doing. Okay, so you get interest that way there as well. Google reviews and maps. If it's in a sponsored venue, people can find it. One of the things here is to try to use the local language as often as possible. I would advise 50% of the time. So 50% of the time, if it's like today in Russian, tomorrow in English, or German, French, doesn't make a difference, or Dutch. Try to vary it around, because people will actually look for it. Leave reviews of the venue where you are, okay, as the club. So for example, if you're training at such and such a park, leave a review, talk about it, say where it is, mention where you can get a bus there, because there's not just casual people, but there's people who will maybe a newbie be a bit shy to ask about it. they'll just click on and bang, to see it. Okay, it's the benefit of our technology. Now, before we had like a guidebook, now we have Google, for example. Okay, so leave a little review, mention where it is, and then it'll build up automatically. Okay, okay, perfect posts. This again, there is really no perfect, but this is best practice, I should say, rather than perfect. But perfect post is kind of rhyming. LinkedIn. 25 words, 2 hashtags, 3 to 5 tags. Okay, so 25 words. So you can extend it sometimes depending on what you're putting out. Okay, so if it's something quite short, if it's a link, or if you're just mentioning a link to a like I would do it, say for the podcast, I would say listen up to couple of hashtags, 2 tags, and then I put it in. So it's very, very short. People just look at the line, the headline, go, oh, okay, I'll click on the podcast and then go on to it. Twitter, 71 to 100 characters. Again, Twitter is great. You can count it. You can see the little circle, it'll count down for you. 2 hashtags, 3 to 5 tags, and location. You can use more tags sometimes if you want, if you have a photo, and tag people in the photo if they're on Twitter, for example. But location is important to have on it. For Twitter, they say less is more. You can go up to 280, but they try to say keep it 140 and below. Okay, 140 and below. Facebook, 40 to 80 characters. Again, like LinkedIn, you can extend it if you really need to do it. Hashtags 2 to 4, 3 to 5 tags, and location. Instagram, and this is a tricky one because very often we want to put in a whole heap of photos. We can put in up to 10 photos, I believe. People get tired swiping, so they just ignore it. Okay, so basically a photo or a 13-second video. So maybe 2 photos, depending on what it is. If it's 2 team lineups, if it's 2 awards, if it's, you know, you're showing direction somewhere, you have like the entry gate, you have the field. Something like that is okay for a couple of photos, but do try to limit it as much as possible. For video, sound is important as well. People want to hear something normal, okay? Characters, again, this is a difficult one. 138 to 150 characters. This can be longer, but try to be as limited as possible. Hashtags, now I put here 5 to 10, and I'll explain it in a moment as well. I'll show you a graphic. 15 to 20 tags. 20 is the maximum tags you can put in anyway. I would refrain usually from putting tags into text if possible. I'd put them into or on the photos. It's much easier that way. And location, of course. YouTube, 3-minute video. They are so easy, so good. I mean, 2 minutes is very good as well. Neve just mentioned her experience with the 2 that they did with Munich. 3-minute videos, people watch them. Okay, 2 minutes 30, between 2 and 3 minutes, that's optimum. Okay, unless someone wants to watch an interview or something really worthwhile that they actually go on to YouTube to find, 2 to 3 minutes is more than enough. Okay, and if you can't sell something in 2 to 3 minutes, then you need to sort of look at editing. Okay, so just to be careful for that. Couple of hashtags. Just 2, sorry, I have hashtags here twice. That doesn't mean 4 hashtags, that just means 2. 20 to 30 words, usually a good 5 to 10 word name of your video. That's enough. And your location, okay? And as I mentioned here, practice would be less imperfect. Okay, so I mean less imperfection, so don't worry about that. Okay, this is what I mean by the Instagram action. You can see here from the number of hashtags. Number 1, you get just over 10,000. Then it goes down to 3, up a little bit, down in 4, and the peak comes around 9. But as you see here, between 5 and 9 and 10, 11, that's okay. As I mentioned, you don't want to get shadow banned, but you want to get your hashtags in. You want to get intelligent hashtags. You want your 5 hashtags, okay, like we already mentioned: club, city, town, country, county, association. Okay, that's what you want to go. Those 5 tags are there anyway, and then you build. So you put your 5 in, and then you slap another 4 on top of them, and you hit 9. Okay, so again, be careful and play with it a wee bit. Final slide, you've got to know, a proper slide, is to do with something that is funny in somebody's head, something that gets passed on to the boss, and they look at it and they giggle, go, that's quite clever, that's very witty. They put it out and they get destroyed. Okay? Be careful with something like this, because so many companies have messed up badly, and especially if there's AI or artificial intelligence that link up advertisements. For example, one very, very famous one, I'll show it next week, I just couldn't find it today for it, was where they were talking about the in Auschwitz, the gas chambers, and it was like, you know, the end of the war, and they were like talking about it. So they had, it was in one of the newspapers, but it was online. But their online aggregator for advertisements also put the adverts into the print edition, so it's print and online. And they basically, when they saw the word gas added up, they immediately put the advertisement for British Gas in amongst these things about the Holocaust. This is something that an editor should lose their job for, because they're not, you know, they're giving over control to AI. We have no excuse for that, really, so be careful. What I'm going to show you next is what happens when somebody is given a job, somebody thinks they're really doing a great job, and they get destroyed out. So on the left, I guess, yeah, you're looking to your left, just read the text, okay, and then see what you think. So it's from Chase Manhattan Bank. Why is my balance so low? So your bank account answers, tells you why your balance is so low. You say, well, I guess I'll never know, and the bank account answers. So that's a Monday motivation. Today would be hashtag Wednesday wisdom, okay? The person who did that got fired. The person who's above them got fired as well. Because remember, what I have here is, keep this in your head. Remember that somebody was paid to make this tweet, that somebody thought this was a good idea, that somebody approved this, and that somebody got fired. Okay, the person at the bottom gets fired, the person above them gets fired as well. Be very, very careful with what you are going to put it. And again, this goes back to the very, very, very first one, the third slide we had. Keep control. Don't let anybody else tell you what to do with it. They can give advice, but know yourself what you want to do. Okay, right, that is it. I will stop presenting and turn over to questions or comments.
Alan, I have just a question, because I think about Basel when you say about local language, like, because like Basel is in Switzerland, it's in German part, but like just at the border, it is France, where we speak French. Which type of language you will advise to do it, or to do it in German or in French or in English? Oh,
that's a great one. You could always ask the French government to invade and take over that part of Switzerland. Swiss wouldn't mind. Sorry, it's a bad joke. And that's something you can't put out on Twitter.
It's not really a good joke. It's part of a war between the French Swiss and the German Swiss. So
yeah, it would be good. It depends. It really depends. It depends on what's the, as we say, the lingua franca, the common language of the people. But I would say, as advice, try not to put out bilingual tweets or bilingual posts. They don't always work out too well, unless it's a one-liner or just like, say, 5 or 6 words. I would say vary it, Matthew. Vary it. I would use German, French, and English. I would use all 3. But see yourself which most people speak. Most people there will speak French anyway. Maybe not all people speak German. I don't know. But I would look at it and make a decision and stick with yourself and see what most people speak and use that.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead, Andre. Go ahead, Diana.
You see nowadays with the Instagram posts, sometimes the hashtags are in the post itself, And sometimes people use an extra, put the hashtags in the comments.
Yes.
What to do?
Listen, hashtags basically, if we put it at the, like if we look at, I'll bring this up again, right? Where are we? Social media too. So I'll bring this up again and show you how, okay, it was done badly, we saw, but it's a very good question because if we look at how Spartak did it, okay, they had, keep posts, okay. So I'll open up now, we'll just have a look at basically in the body of the post, that's where your hashtags should be. If somebody else, which happens, starts trying to spam and put their hashtags or their ats in, like here we have, this is the post, this is on Twitter. Okay, so this also, if we just say that Instagram is over on the left and you're on the right hand side, your text, this is all you need. All that's written here is all you need to be there. That's in the body of the post or underneath the photo, I should say. If someone puts it into a comment, I would advise if it's anyway bad or not good, remove it and make no complaints about it. Just remove it. You can direct message a person, say, listen, please don't put that hashtag in or whatever that, because, you know, it's inappropriate, for example, like that. But if it's just a regular hashtag, which is just funny, it could be, I don't know, I think, I'm trying to remember if it's Zurich, they say up Zurich, yes?
Hop Zurich.
Hop Zurich, there you go. So yeah, so if you don't have that in your post and then someone in a comment puts in hashtag Hop Zurich, that's harmless, that's okay. So only the ones that you put in, Deirdre, into that into the body of the post. That's all. If it comes into comments underneath your post, just have a look. If it's offensive or if it doesn't, if you don't think it should be there, remove it. Just delete you have the power to delete that comment. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Great, thanks.
Okay. Okay, and your questions or comments?
Quick question about making a YouTube video.
Yeah.
What type of, like, should it be like different clips kind of strung together to make a video, or can it just be like, is it just a 2-minute video of just the action happening, or what's the level of professionality does it have to be for?
Listen, that's one of the most viewed sports clips of all time is the one that I think we all remember or know it. It's where the guy's taking a penalty and he hits the upright in the crossbar and the ball bounces and hits his friend in the face. You all know that one?
No, not really. But anyway, go on.
You can imagine it. But if you don't, like, it's just an extremely funny video. But basically, it can be a one shot, which is basically you follow a team in. Okay, follow a team into the dressing room, hit pause. Okay, and the door closes in your face. So that case, 30 seconds. Then they give you on the door that are coming out. You hit play. They're all changed. They're walking out of the dressing room, out onto the field. You follow them onto the field. That's another 30 seconds. That's 1 minute. And then you pause it. As you walk to the line, you pause it.
Okay.
That's a 1 minute shot. That's what's called a one shot. Okay, a one take. That looks good. If you're coming back to training, if you're doing something that's interesting, doesn't matter what happens out on the field, like in that context, if you can play with it, it's going to look as professional as possible. If you just hold it nice and steady, hold your camera steady, make sure that people don't start mugging off for the camera, because that happens. You know, it happens up at the top level when his World Cup 90 and Paul Gascoigne, the cameras pan along the line for the God Save the Queen, and he sticks his tongue out. So tell the people when you're doing it that they all walk in like, you know, kind of heads down or talking to each other, and then they come out of the dressing room roaring or running. Play with it. But honestly, Sinead, it can be as professional as you want. sometimes something kind of fun or grainy or, so makes more sense and is more interesting. If you can take a few clips, okay, or like videos, like say 30 seconds or a minute, and then edit it together on your computer. There's a number of different online resources you can use to what you call stitch together the different scenes. It doesn't have to be overly professional, to be honest with you. If it looks good, it's good. If it appears to be live, that's very, very good. And you can add titles to it. You can add music to it before the end. And as I said, the simplest way you can try it is people coming in and out of training. Okay, that's simple as that. People like that. Okay, people do like that.
Would it look? I feel I probably would use Instagram story a lot on the evening, like just kind of put up clips. Would that look unprofessional if I was to? Don't know, you can download the whole story afterward, and then I could upload that as whatever, how many minutes it ends up being.
Exactly. You could do that. You could do that. Yeah.
Would that look sloppy or just lazy?
No. Look, if you can play with it as well, and you can download and put them together. And remember, ultimately, if you think it looks okay, if you think, actually it looks okay, you're the best judge of it because you were there and you know the people. So it won't look sloppy. If it's like 10-second stories and you put 10 of them together, it's little snippets from the night. That's what highlights are. Like if we think of the best highlight packages, what makes them different for us when we're watching sport, for example, just think of the end of the Olympics or the end of the World Cup or European Championships or the end of a match of the day. They'll have a montage of goals, of misses, of red cards, of tackles. That's pure crap, except there's nice music to it. And they put it together the right way, and it creates an atmosphere, and it makes us remember it. And I'm always old enough to remember this. Oh God, like there used to be goal of the month or goal of the week, and they'd have certain songs, and it was like goal A, Dalian Atkinson, Aston Villa, and they would do that. Those songs stick in your head. So again, if you can put some music to back it, you can get lots of free music resources as well. I'll pass them on as well. Actually, I can pass them on today. Royalty-free music, use that. Okay. So there's one called Ben Sound, like just all that, like BEN sound. I think it's bensound.com. They have a range of free, basically it's just acoustic music. Okay. And you can download that and use it as a backing track. You can stitch it in, and it's very good quality, most of it, and you can vary it around as well. So Ben Sound, there's quite a few of them. Just look online for royalty-free music, and you'll find it. And use that, and that makes your 10-second stories a step above. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. Is Des coming in?
Yeah. Actually, the angle on, say, bringing in famous people into, like, with the club kind of thing. We've I haven't asked anybody yet or anything like that, but it was there's a Norwegian Irish skier, and he's gone pretty well in like international skiing. And I was thinking, like, get a herd in his hand. I think about 4 or 5 years ago, we saw one of the Irish lads in Germany going down a slope and with soloing the ball along as he was going along. Yeah. And I thought, that's gold. Now, is that is it a good idea, or does that have to be asked in a certain way, or how do you manage doing that? Is that a good, I'm not sure.
That's a great idea, and if he's up for it, get him to do it.
Right. Okay.
Simple as that.
Yeah, just stick a jersey on him, and if he's up for it, great.
Get it, and get him to make sure that everybody puts it out on their social media, let some local media know about it as well, because that's a good way to recruit as well. It's a good way to get noticed and get recruited, and to attract sponsors at the same time, for him and for you guys as well. And even for people at home, of course, it all depends on when the ski season starts back. It will
time, and it'll be
exactly.
off season, totally. Like,
exactly. Yeah. It'll peak. Just hope he doesn't get busted for doping. That's the main thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's always a balance. But no, and look, we did it for the build-up for the World Games for Team Russia. We got TV presenters, actors, sports people, sports people, singers, to like basically do 10 seconds. But like, and he said the exact same thing. I'm back in Team Russia. Best of luck. You go, girls. That's all.
Yeah.
They do the same for Oslo. Do it in Norwegian and do it in English. Boom, you have it. Perfect.
We have I was even just thinking of posting a jersey to Seeger and see if she'd like wear and support the ladies, football team, and that's going to happen next year, hopefully. But that's a good idea, maybe. Yeah.
Great idea. Look, whatever you can do, the most important thing, like, let's put it this way, we the best viral campaigns are ones that are well thought out, but then are kind of look spontaneous. So this guy just walks in and picks up a hurl, picks up a jersey, all of a sudden, boom, okay, this is really cool. I keep saying, be brave with it, be brave, like, do it.
Do it.
Yeah, and then pass it on to us in Central, like, into me.
Yeah.
So then I can spread it even further. Again, it's a thing where we all work together, because it's gold, and it gives us a kind of an extra respect if someone outside of our sport looks at it. So we had a guy who won one of the early UFC championships, Alex Taktarov, and he's an actor as well. And he came out and said, "Oh, go girls, do your best." People in Russia are like, Taktarov, what's? And then they started looking, what's Gaelic football? So we saw then the rise and the hits and the whole lot. That's the way it works. So be brave, do whatever you want. And I think that's a great idea. I think I fully encourage it. Great idea. Great, Des.
Should go with that. Okay, cool. Right.
Okay. Any other ideas? I know, Angel, you were late coming in, so I hope you didn't miss too much. Have you any other questions or comments, or? No? Okay.
Oh yeah. Language. Yeah. So at training, if someone's training in, let's say, and naturally has Norse, but is basically to who at training has the most common language. Like if we suddenly start, getting a youth section, it's best to just go Norse or to go local.
Exactly.
Okay, Grant, yeah. And the same with, like, if you get someone on board, like, it's probably better for the Norwegian audience if they speak Norse and say, "Oh, I've got a hurl, it's an Irish sport," in Norse.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And one thing as well to also be, I say, clever with, another selling point of this as well, is that this is also, you can say, for kids and for adults as well, this ultimately is free language practice.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, like, if you think about that, how much it would cost, for example, for 1 hour language practice. I know in Galicia it'll be, obviously it's different there, but I know enough, like, and Helen, a lot of the guys and girls, they all speak very good English, so that's like almost a selling point as well. People come in, if there's an Irish masterclass being done, or an English, coaching session being done, again, it's an advantage. So it's a selling point that we have that we can use, that, instruction can be done in English or French or German, Norwegian. It doesn't make a difference.
Because it goes both ways, I suppose. Because, like, if you have some of it in Norse and some of it in English, the Irish people coming from Ireland going to try and train and learn a bit of Norse, and then I see. So try and do a dual thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, it is handy in any case, because if you go to a tournament and you have a few words of something that your opponents don't have, that's handy.
Yeah.
That is handy. I mean, it works.
I always use it when I'm, you know, with the Viking Gaels going to, if we're in the Netherlands, because I used to live in the Netherlands. So if you want a few Dutch words and the lads are a bit distracted and you get the ball,
It works. I'll tell you, all this works. And again, we have brilliant sports that we can use. We have brilliant sports that we can, that we are promoting. So be really proud of what we're doing. So no, again, that works. And Hell, just want to ask, did you miss much of what we did so far, or you're okay?
I'm okay. All right.
And Hell? No. Matthew, is that Hell? Is his mic on or off?
His mic is off, but he's just mute. I don't know. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, folks. Any other questions?
He says that his mic doesn't seem to work today, so if you want to.
I see it. Yeah, my mic. Yeah, sorry. I just saw it on the phone. Okay. Okay. Look. Before, well, if anyone has any questions, ask. I mean, I'm happy to answer. One thing I just next week it'll be kind of our our last proper of this format, because ideally I'd wanted 3 to 4 weeks, so next week will be the last one, but we'll have an expert in. She won't be working next week for sure, so she'll be in to speak with us about posts and so on, and also with use of Photoshop and so on and so forth. I just like you all to do something, if you can, Deirdre, even in the youth social media as well. If you can, for me, it'd be great. Put up a post this week, okay? Take your time with the post. Put it out. That's a little bit unusual. Try to use your Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Link them all up, okay? Just get them going. Link them all up and post from your Instagram, okay, with say 5 hashtags, 3 or 4 tags, and photo, and put it through. But try to pick something from your city, okay? So try to do it, like say Monday, for example, because Sinead, you'll have enough to do with the mini blitz, but try to do something from your city, a landmark from your city, okay? Whether it's A Coruña, whether it's Oslo, Munich, I don't mind. If it's Matthew, you're in tough because you've got Basel or Strasbourg, but you have to pick one and put it out. But pick some.
I'm training this evening with Saturday with Strasbourg, so I think I will pick Strasbourg because we train in front of the European Parliament. Like the field is in front of the European Parliament, so
perfect.
If we just make a training picture, like we'll have something with like everybody in Strasbourg.
Do it with, like, say, put a Gaelic football, put a slitter, put a hurl. Doesn't make a difference. Put a Gaelic football in front of something that, you know, is recognizable from your city, okay? Put it up and post it out. Do it on Monday, for example, okay? Then on Wednesday, we'll have a look, okay? Now, remember, we know how to do the hashtags and then the tag, okay? So tag in GGE as well, okay? And we'll put them all together and see what the reaction is, okay? And we can compare them and also show it off to look, this is what we're doing, okay? Because then when the person comes in to look at them, she'll have, with fresh eyes, she won't see them. I'll just say, here we go, here we go, here we go. And she'll assess it, okay? We can't do anything wrong. We can only do something right with it. We can only do something really cool with it, really good with it. Doesn't matter how great your camera is. If it's just a phone, take it. Put a Gaelic football down. It could be a jersey with, you know, European Parliament in the background, or whatever it made in the background, you know. Even like for a simple example, yesterday I was sitting waiting to do an interview. I had a can of 7-Up and a glass, and I just took a picture. Okay, that's all. Just so I'm waiting for this, and I just explain what I did very, very quickly. I wanted to test the reaction, and I got the reaction from people. People were like going, "Oh, that's interesting. What are you doing there? People commented, oh, I'm going there to meet Alan now. And so this is how we start to make viral content, okay? And we can play with it. So on Monday, put this out, okay? So take the photo of the weekend, put it out on Monday, because we're also going to check the time. Check if, 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock is best, because people will start, looking at their phones, wherever it may be, at lunchtime. So we put it at 12 o'clock. It's there in the feed, okay? So just try it for me on Monday. Put it out, and then on Wednesday we'll cover it, okay?
First Deirdre and after Neem.
Okay, Deirdre, away we go.
As we are the only youth team in Holland, and we're based in The Hague, but what would you advise? Just use The Hague as a location, or would it also be handy to use like really Dutch landscapes? So make it more Dutch instead of one city.
You could, if you do with like a pair of clogs and a windmill in the background.
Yeah,
that's good.
Or a tulip field, or I don't know what, but something like that.
Deirdre, you ultimately, if you think this is us, this is something that's recognizable, that gives the essence of your club, of your community, do it. I suggested a city so that it's something, or a cityscape or a building, just so people could get a feel for the area, connection. It's recognizable. Tulips are going to be recognizable. So, and then once the location is there, you're good. So perfect. Whatever you feel will work best and show you off to the best, you go for it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Niamh?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, should we do this in rather the local language or English, or does it matter? Or
again, I would say it for this one, it doesn't really matter. I would say maybe if you put a sentence, or like one sentence in German, one sentence in English, or in Norway, or it could be Norwegian or English, or Norwegian English. I'd play with it. I wouldn't worry so much about the English, except if you're going to do hashtags. This is something I didn't cover because I want someone who's an expert to tell you guys next week. If you're doing hashtags in another language, for example, I see really good Russian bloggers doing their posts in Russian, and they do their hashtags in Russian and English, and it makes no sense. People look, but if it's just a photo they're trying to show off, that's different. Photo content, that's okay. So you can, if it's a photo, if you have a line in German, a line in English, and then 5 hashtags in one language, 5 hashtags in the other language, another 2 or 3 hashtags just to throw in, go for it. I would say this time, it's not so important. It's just to try and get the feel and to get the reaction of it, to do it as a kind of a control study. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Okay. We're all okay with that so far? We kind of know our task?
Try to do it.
Okay.
I get the ball and the small ball, big ball out.
There you go. There you go. Again, it's to play with it. It's to make it interesting. We can't do anything wrong. If we do it correctly, and we know that it's decent content, it will catch on. Okay. And again, if you haven't already started to do start to make a list of your local journalists, your local media outlets, local editors. Start to build it up so you have it there in your hand. It can take a couple of hours one evening to sit and do it, but you can do it all online. Okay, and have a look at it. Okay, because it's a great resource to have, especially when there is a tournament or there is an event and you want to get someone to it. Okay, so just to be aware of it, all right, and to start building up. Then same with your members. I know in Moscow there's there were a load of the members who liked or followed the Moscow Shamrocks, but they never liked, they never shared, not even commented on the social media posts. The most reason was liking was enough. But the fault lies on us as a club is that we're not producing the content that will get people hooked. Okay, we're getting people who have no relation to Gaelic football because they see a 10-second video, they go, oh, that's kind of cool, and they like it or they share it, but our own members don't. So again, that's encouraging your own members, like we mentioned last week, to like and share. You know, it's not North Korea. We can't force people to do it, but we can encourage people, okay? And also you can run something we'll mention next week, competitions. Now, I will mention next week fully competitions. People love, I almost said free shit, but they love free stuff, okay? They really, really love free stuff, whether it's a jersey, whether it's a voucher. Christ almighty, on the radio, we put out a voucher that's like a €15 voucher for an Irish pub for food and drink. Now, it'll get you a pint and a pie, and we'll get like 20 calls and 100 messages in half an hour just because people want that €15. It's free, okay? So this is what we have to play with as well, be aware of. So we'll speak about it next week because it's another step on again, competitions, okay? Like running competitions online. It does get interest. If you do it the right way, it gets really, really good. And there's one thing, if you're going to get someone who's a celebrity involved in any way, shape or form, use that maybe the background of a giveaway, okay? So giveaway or prize, okay? All right, folks, are we okay there? No more questions or comments?